so good. We are talking about the one trait. I'm actually going to talk about 2 traits that turns him on more than anything. And ladies, this is our superpower. And what really inspired this was the show Later Daters. So let me know in the comments if you know what the show Later Daters is. It's on Netflix and it's so good. It's basically women and men that are over 50 and they're starting to date again. And, honey, are you okay? And they're starting to date again. And it is so good. But I want to know if you guys are actually watching it, because there are some things that we need to unpack that are going to help my later daters in our community. And for those of you that don't know me, the reason why I can hear my husband sneezing in the background. Okay. He's trying to be my IT support. Anyway, good afternoon. This is going to be so helpful for you, because there are certain things that women do, and I see this all the time as a feminine energy, hormone, and inner healing coach, that I see women all the time do. That it doesn't matter how beautiful you are, doesn't matter how successful you are, doesn't matter how much you love God and you're a religious person and you're doing charity work and you're a great mom. It doesn't matter. Like, those things are great, but that's not what attracts men long term. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And not only that, but you actually staying healthy in the process, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and hormonally. Dina, welcome. What's up? I'm not familiar with it, but I need to watch it. Okay. So for the people that don't know what the show is, I'm going to explain it really quick because it's super interesting. And then we will jump into the 2 traits that will cause him to be so turned on by you. And this is so important if you are single and dating. Maybe you haven't hit the dating market yet, or even if you're married, this is still really, really important. Okay. All right. I love it. Hello. Okay, so Later Daters it's on Netflix. You guys can go check it out. You want to watch it. It's so good. People are over 50. They go on all these random blind dates and they're looking for love. These people are in their 50s, their 60s, and their 70s. Okay, so there is a lot to learn from this. And one of the things that the dating coach talks about on the show, she's not a feminine energy dating coach, and you can tell she's good. She's a behavioral coach, and so there's still a lot of benefit that the people have working with her, but she's definitely not a feminine energy coach. And I really believe that is the missing link for a lot of women. So anyway, let's talk about what they're doing right, because I'm not someone that comes on here and picks apart women ever. But so let's talk about what they're doing right that will also help you. And then let's talk about the things that will turn a man on and like really, really separate you from the crowd. Does that sound good? Let me know in the comments. Let's have some likes and loves so we can get this out to more people. Okay. I want to feel your girls' energy as well. Are there any single moms in here? Let me know if there's any single moms. I was a single mom. So just so you guys know, for the new people, I was a single mom. I was a widowed mom with 4 kids, and I'm now newly married, remarried to the love of my life. Literally everything I asked for in a provider energy, masculine energy husband. He is the most amazing dad also to our 4 kids. We live our dream life, like moved, everything. So, this is the big thing I help women with now, is not only their hormones and their body and their inner healing, but also the polarity in the relationships, polarity between people, polarity between guys that they're dating and married to, and even in business with clients. But for today, we're talking about more relationship stuff. Okay. Single mom. Okay, perfect. Any other single moms in here? This is going to help you so much. Okay. And just so you know too, just this morning, I was in the community, the Feminine Energy Academy, and one of the ladies in our program, she was like, okay, going on dates now. And she hadn't been on dates in 3 years, and she's having so much fun dating now because she's using our strategy. So anyway, back to Later Daters, the things that they're doing right. One thing I love about the women in this program, on the show, in this experiment, is the women all take care of themselves. Okay, so these are great catches. These women, they're all gorgeous. All of them. They all look completely different. No one's like a Barbie doll, but they all take care of themselves. And that is so, so important. And your starting point as a woman is you need to take care of how you look, babe, how you look and how you feel. So these women, they're all different shapes and sizes and races. So there's no excuse there. Okay. And they all take care of how they look. So that is a great thing. They all work out. Even the women in their 60s and 70s are high energy. They're healthy. Like, no wonder they want to find love again because they look good. Okay. So that is always, always your starting point. That's why in our dating and marriage programs, we incorporate hormone and weight loss because how a woman feels is everything when it comes to attracting a man. Okay. So that's the one great thing that they're doing. The other great thing that they're doing is they're actually putting themselves out there, right? Like, you have to be findable. And, your husband is not just going to come find you while you're sitting on the couch. I know it's so challenging for a lot of women to put themselves out there and date. But if you have strategy, ladies, like something I teach and my husband and I teach, when you have strategy, it's easier to show up and you're just practicing. That's what I tell my girls, you're just practicing. So no pressure. Okay. So those are the things that, they're doing really, really well. Now, here are the things that I feel like will help them so much more. So much more. Okay. And this is where I see women get tripped up all the time because women think that, oh, because I'm educated, because I have a PhD or a degree, because I run a business, because I'm, a celebrity, or work with celebrities, or I look good, or, I go to church every Sunday, that's what's going to attract men. And that's not what attracts men at all. Those are great qualities. They'll admire that about you for sure. But that's not what gets them so addicted to you, turned on, and want to be with you forever. Okay. So the first thing is this. You guys ready? You guys ready? Let me know in the comments. Say, I am ready. Say, I'm ready to receive. I'm ready to receive. So the first thing that will shift everything for you, so men are completely turned on by you, and this really helps you separate yourself from the pack, from everyone else. I love it. Is your ability to receive. Your ability to receive. Okay, what does that mean? Natasha, that sounds so simple. Of course I know how to receive. No, I'm going to give you some signs that you struggle with receiving. Okay, as a woman, you struggle with receiving. And why does this matter? Like, why does this turn men on? Well, because men are not attracted to your masculine energy. Heterosexual men, healthy heterosexual men, are attracted to femininity. They're attracted to your feminine energy. Okay, it's law of polarity. Okay, so if these are some signs that you struggle with receiving, and this is a lot of the women on the show. Okay, so super successful, but most women, and I was like this too, so I can say this in love and help you heal from this, is most women are in survival mode, right? Especially if you're a single mom, you're in survival mode. And what that means is you are the provider and you are the protector of your family, right? In the comments right now, as a woman, are you the provider, the breadwinner, the protector in your family? Okay. And a lot of us were raised by moms that were the provider in our family. They were the independent, strong, masculine energy mom, right? A lot of us come from immigrant backgrounds or single parent backgrounds, or just backgrounds where our parents were, the problem solver. Our moms were, they were in survival mode. That's all they knew. We didn't have these discussions around healing. We didn't have these discussions around feminine energy or anything like that, right? This is so funny. I'm not the breadwinner because I want to be gluten-free. That's actually really funny. Okay. But naturally, by default, as a woman, this is how our nervous system is wired. Okay. So there's no guilt, there's no shame. Let me explain why this happens. Okay. But also how to get out of it. So when things happen, maybe you've been through a divorce as a mom, maybe you lost your husband, like what I went through. And even one of the ladies on the show, she's a widow as well, or you were just raised that, you got to be the provider. You got to go to school. You got to start your business. You got to work hard in your job and you got to be the provider, right? So this has been programmed into our nervous system for probably generations, okay? Not just you, but probably with your parents too, with your mom, right? I'm ready to receive. I love this. So then what happens is it becomes part of who we are. We can't really turn it off until you become aware of it. And so just here's some signs that you're in, this is the mode you're still in, okay? So you are the one that's always providing, always doing things for other people. You're probably a really big giver. You're probably very generous. You take care of people. You probably feel like if I don't do it, it's not going to get done. Women feel like this in their marriage, okay? This is why it's important, even if you're in a marriage, to heal this. So you're the one, even when you're having conversations, okay, on dates, watch the women date on this show, okay? And they're healing from this too. I don't know how many of them are actually aware of this, but I hope they become aware of this because this is what's going to change things for them. Is even when they're having conversations with people, they're the ones always talking. They don't know how to just be present and listen to what people are saying. The guy that they're dating, they don't know how to actually just listen to them. They're more focused on being interesting than being interested, as that dating coach talks about, right? So you're more focused on, I see this all the time. It's so subconscious with women that are wounded, where, and I used to be like this too, so no judgment, where it's like you show up and you're like, I have this degree, I've done this, I work in this corporate job, I do this, I've done this, and you're just like listing off all your accolades, right? And it's not that you need to shrink yourself. That's not what we're talking about here. But you need to be able to hold space for somebody else to shine, for somebody else to pour into you, for somebody else to talk, and so for you to receive. Another sign is, hey, Christy, what's up? I see you girls. Hey, Didi. Hey, baby. I love seeing all my letters in here. Okay. And I know Aditi is married, right? And this is like still a perfect example of what we need to do as women when we're married. Like I'm married and I still have to practice this because for so long I was a single mom, right? And I was raised to very much be in my masculine energy. And so I have to pattern interrupt all the time and pause and allow my husband to pour into me or to take care of things without me jumping in and wanting to control things. So that's another sign that you struggle with that receiving is you're always fixing things for people. You're always problem solving. You're like, oh, let me just do it. I can do it faster. I can do it better. I can do it. I'm smarter. And not to say that you are, but you're just so used to being the one doing it that you're the one that always jumps in, right? Is this anyone else? I know the ladies in my programs are aware of this already, and they are reversing this. Hello from Japan. That is amazing. Welcome. I love this. I was literally praying about this and then saw you were live streaming. Okay, babe, this is so, so good. Okay. So being able to receive as a woman is your superpower. Why? Because subconsciously men are attracted to that. They are not attracted to your masculine energy, babe. Okay. Now, here's the big thing. This is where women get tripped up. Okay. This is where women get tripped up. And I hear this all the time. And I heard it from pretty much every single woman on the show, Later Daters. And what they said is, I haven't had the privilege of being soft and receiving. I've always had to be the strong one. So put in the comments right now if you feel like you've always had to be the strong one. You've never had the opportunity to be in your soft receiving energy, right? This is the big dilemma that a lot of women have. And I saw another comment from another video where a woman's saying this. She's like, I'm widowed mom. I've had to be the provider. I see other women at my work and they're hustling hard because they have to be the provider. We don't even have a chance as a woman. And that is a bunch of BS. Okay. This is a big issue. This is why I'm talking about this. Coming as a mom, I was a widowed mom with 4 little kids, okay? And I'm going to teach you how to get out of this for good. But I also, nobody really understands what it feels like unless you've been in that situation, babe. And so I'm telling you, I understand deeply what it feels like. Okay. You are not alone. But the big dilemma is like, well, how do I shift out of this? Because I want to attract men that I don't have to take care of. I want to be able to turn a man on that, wants to be my husband, or so I can have a long marriage, long lasting, fun marriage. How do I do that if I always feel like I have to be the provider? So Tiffany, you're a widow. Oh my gosh, babe, you are meant to watch this. Okay. Stay tuned here. Okay. So the only way that you're going to learn how to be more in your soft receiving energy as a woman is, number one, is you have to first of all be aware that you're even functioning in this mode. Be aware of the fact that is actually what repels healthy masculine energy men. And also you actually learning how to not be your own provider protector. What do I mean by that? Okay, well, if there's no man around, then who is providing, protecting, Natasha? Make this make sense. Trust me, I got you. I got you. Really, babe, you do have a provider protector. God is your provider protector. He is your divine masculine provider protector. This is why even Jesus calls himself the head, right? And us the bride. It's mirroring that polarity, because you can't be your own provider protector, babe. Yes, you can still go to work. Yes, you can still run your businesses. Yes, you can go get your degrees. Yes, you can do all those things. I did all those things, but I had to shift out of that mindset of I have to do everything myself. I'm all alone. I'm the provider protector. Because what happens is, when it burns out your hormones as a woman, it burns out your hormones as a woman, okay? It burns out your nervous system. This is why you're stressed and anxious all the time. Okay, this is probably why you have that stubborn belly fat, emotional eating, trouble sleeping at night, is because your hormones are in survival mode. So you literally have to reprogram your hormones and your energy that it's safe for you to start receiving. It's safe for you to start leveraging the power of God in this universe to provide and protect for you. We got to take it into the energetic and spiritual realm. Now, I'm not trying to sound woo-woo, okay? I'm not trying to sound woo-woo, but I'm trying to give you practical advice right now as a woman, because this is a major issue, single motherhood. It is a major issue that we have, that women are burnt out in their hormones. Like 90% of women have hormone issues. Have you ever wondered why that is? Have you ever wondered why we have a divorce rate of like 60%, whether you go to church or you don't go to church, right? We have these gorgeous women on these shows, Later Dater, gorgeous women, great-hearted, loving moms that are still single, right? And not to say you can't have a great life single. Yes, you can. I'm talking to the women that actually want to get married again, right? So what it is, and my ladies in the Feminine Energy Academy, they can attest to this because they've been doing the work. They've been putting the inner work in, where as you start to heal yourself, as you start to do your inner work, where you can shed and let go of the baggage you've been holding on to, the weight you've been carrying around for years, feeling like you are alone, feeling like you're the only one that will show up and provide and protect your family. And you start leaning more on God. You start leaning more and start, using the power that you have in you to call the things in that you want, those things that don't exist. You call it into existence. You start tapping into your divinity, your divine feminine essence. What happens is, one, things start coming into reality, not based on how hard you're working, but based on what you are aligned to, based on what you're an energetic match to, right? So it's not about you working harder. And the other thing too, is that you're able to surrender. You're able to let go. You're able to detach. You're able to not feel like you have to control people, to control men that you're dating, your husband. And once, as a woman, babe, and I know this might not make complete sense to you yet, and that's okay. Okay, like stick with me, okay? This didn't make sense to me at the beginning either, at all. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I just need to work harder and look better. No, that's not it, babe. It's not sustainable anyway, okay? There's a lot of women that look good. But you as a woman, once you learn how to let go and detach and do something called be vulnerable, which we'll talk about in a second, which did not make any sense to me at the beginning, Once you're able to do that, your hormones will improve. Your hormones will come out of survival mode. You won't have the cortisol spikes. You won't have the adrenaline spikes. You won't have the adrenal fatigue. And you're going to notice that men are going to be more magnetized to you. Okay, let me know in the comments if this is making sense. Let me know in the comments. I want to see where you guys are at, because I have my girls in here from Men Energy Academy, but I also have new people on here too. So let me know, where are you at right now with this? I was watching, brilliantly said, thank you. I was watching this other video, and they're talking about, how men are attracted to a woman's vulnerability, right? And even on the dating show, the Later Daters, they talk about, they're be more vulnerable, be more vulnerable. But for a lot of women, they don't know how to be vulnerable, right? Like, I didn't know what that meant a few years ago, right? Am I the only one that did not know what being vulnerable actually meant? Being vulnerable is like, yes, okay, being vulnerable is like you're willing to not show up and have to be perfect, or things don't have to be done perfectly. You're able to let people in. You're able to let them do things for you. You're able to have a heart-to-heart connection with them, right? Without coming across a certain way. But for most women, when you're so used to being in your masculine energy, your nervous system doesn't feel safe. You're the provider, you're a protector. The last thing you want to do is show any vulnerability, right? So this is something you have to practice with yourself first, babe. And the more you're loving on yourself, the more you're letting go and not worrying about being hurt. That's literally the number one thing that is stopping these women from receiving. If I had to get to the root of it, if you want to get to the root of it, of why these women struggle with being vulnerable and why these women struggle to be in the receiving feminine energy mode, and this is all of us that we have to heal, is they are afraid of being hurt again. I don't know if you guys want to be vulnerable right now, but you can comment right now and say, is that you? Is that something that you have struggled with? It's like, I don't want to get hurt again. I don't want to get hurt again. So what happens is, and you see this all the time with the women, is I don't want to get hurt again. So the mask goes up. So this is why women will hold on to weight, for example. Okay. Just being so loving and vulnerable with you guys right now. Yes, I'm definitely struggling with this. Thank you for saying that. Women, this is why I love the programs that I have, is because it's women's safe place to heal this. I teach you how to heal this because it's a love block. It literally is a love block, babe. Okay. It's a self-sabotage because you might want to get married again. You might want to have an amazing marriage, but if you don't know how to let your guard down with the right people, you're not going to be able to do that, right? But your guard is not going to go down until you can convince your nervous system that you're safe, right? Still struggle at times, yes, babe, and that's okay, because this is something we all have to work on, okay? The nervous system is literally wired to keep you safe. And the nervous system is literally wired to want predictability and certainty, right? And so if you've been burned in the past, that gets wired into the nervous system. If you've been cheated on, if you've been through a divorce, if you've just had bad relationships, if you've attracted men in the past that, ended up needing to be taken care of or didn't treat you good, those types of things, those things get wired into a woman's nervous system. Or you saw that growing up, right? You didn't see a dad that showed up, right? So that's been wired into your nervous system, right? So we got to rewire your nervous system. It's like we got to update the program on your phone, babe, right? You want some new apps. You want your phone to be functioning, in 2024, 2025, not like how it was functioning back in 2020. Then we got to do some wire upgrades with your nervous system. And once you start doing that, babe, and practicing a lot of stuff that I teach the girls, the guard is going to start to come down. And what naturally happens, it's not about you doing more, but as your guard comes down, and I'm not saying put your guard down for everybody. I'm going to get to that point in a second. But once you learn how to detach from people, controlling people, and learning how to feel good and safe and yummy and delicious in your body again, no matter what anyone is doing around you, you become so potently magnetic to the masculine. Okay. It's definitely wired into the nervous system. Yes. And that is a missing link for a lot of people. And I wish they talked about this on the show, because that was a missing link for me as well, because I went through a traumatic loss. You know, I was with someone for 15 years. That's a very long time to be with somebody, right? And then you go through a traumatic loss, and then your nervous system wants to fall in love again. Like, your nervous system fights you. And your nervous system literally fights you. And that's what's happening on these shows, is the women, they want a husband. They want a husband, right? They want to get married again, but their nervous system is fighting them on it. And what it looks like is this. I mean, obviously they're not aware of this, but this is what it looks like. You know, a great guy comes into the picture. He wants to be with them, right? And it's like, oh, well, I don't like the fact that he doesn't like the same football team as me. That's literally an example of this, right? Or I don't like the fact that he's this height, not that height. I don't like the fact that, you know, and it's like the most petty things that don't matter. And then a guy comes into the picture and he's all chiseled and has a six pack, and all the girls are throwing themselves at him. And it's like, no, that's the guy I want. So what happens is with these women is they're picking guys that are rejecting them, because that feels familiar, and they're rejecting men before they can reject themselves. So if you find yourself in a pattern where you reject other people, you reject men before they can reject you, that is a self-sabotaging wound where you don't know how to receive, babe. Right? And it's like, it's petty things. This is what, I mean, I go into so much more detail in the Feminine Energy Academy, where I walk the women through knowing exactly what it is that they're calling in as a husband, things that actually matter, compatibility, lifestyle values, the actual type of life you want to live. Those things matter. Actual character traits in the man, not what sports team he likes, not his height, not, what type of food he likes. Like, those things are so petty, right? Oh, he needs to have a six pack. He needs to be this height. Babe, those things are not going to create a happy marriage for you. What's going to create a happy marriage for you is a man that is in his masculine mode. He knows how to provide. He's probably so busy providing for people that he's not into his looks. Men that are hyper into their own looks are men that are in their feminine energy, even if they're 6'5" and have a six pack. Okay. So those are not, I'm not saying all those guys are bad at all, but what I'm saying is, you as a woman, first of all, you need to know what it is that you're calling in as a masculine energy husband. And you need to ask yourself, am I a match? Am I actually willing to receive these types of traits? Am I able to receive a man that's willing to take care of me, even if he's not 6'3", with a six pack, or even if he doesn't like the same sports team that I like, right? Oh man. Okay. I was kind of going off on a tangent there. I have one more point for you girls, but let me just check in with you and see where you're at. Is this helpful so far? Somebody asked a question over here and I just want to go and check it out. Where was it? I think I missed it. Adora, if you see questions, can you pin for me? I think I missed one over here. Yes, very helpful. Okay, perfect. Needing location, needing assurance. Interesting question. That's a really, really good question. What do you guys think about that? Especially, I have my ladies in the Feminine Energy Academy in here right now. What do you girls think about that? Needing to have the tracking feature on. What do you think about that? To have that reassurance. And I'll tell you what I think about that. These are really, really good. While you're commenting, because I want to know what you girls think, and I'll say it out loud so you guys can hear too. The other point, is it controlling or is it protecting? Okay, so here's the other point. I'm going to get to point 2. So the first point, and then we'll talk about this because I think this is really, really good. So point 1 was your ability to actually receive as a woman. So your ability to actually be vulnerable, your ability to actually be in your pleasure, be present in the moment where your mind is not going all over the place. You're allowing him space to talk. You're allowing him space to do things without you jumping in and controlling everything. Those are all traits that will push him away energetically. Okay. The second thing that turns men on more than anything, and I feel like the women on the show are a little bit better at this point, and that is actually valuing yourself. Actually valuing yourself. Men are attracted to confidence, okay? Not an arrogant confidence, an entitlement confidence, but this confidence of you don't feel like you need anything. You are so detached from people's opinions of you, neediness. There's no neediness in you. You are just so confident in who you are and your value. Now, here's the thing. That takes inner work. A lot of women look confident on the outside, but they're absolutely not confident and they do not value themselves on the inside. Okay. This is something I've also had to work on. Now, if you are a people pleaser, if you are an overgiver, if you grew up where your value came from how much you gave to people, okay, those are the types of people that really struggle with this. Okay. And I used to be like that. So this is why I can talk about this. Your confidence comes from, I don't need validation from people. I don't need validation from men. I don't need validation from anyone. I'm already worthy because I know I'm a child of God. I know I'm royalty. I know I'm a queen. I know this is who God's made me. I don't have to prove myself to anybody. That's where my confidence comes from. Also, really practically speaking, your confidence comes from taking care of yourself, babe. Like actually taking care of your body, actually taking care of your hormones, actually taking care of your hair, your skin, how you dress, taking care of your time, your energy, all these things that I teach my girls in the Feminine Energy Academy, like valuing your sleep, valuing your time. You're not just giving your time away to anybody. You actually have healthy boundaries, right? So you're not coming from this place of hard, like attitude, like don't do this, don't do that. Like you're snappy, triggered at people. That is not confidence. That's a confidence that will turn men off in a heartbeat. I'm talking about a soft confidence where you value yourself, where if a guy comes into your life and he texts you and then 3 days later or 3 dates later, he's gone, you don't even notice, babe. Like you were so busy having fun with your life that you don't even notice. Okay. That's the type of confidence I'm talking about. Okay, you were pouring into, you were taking care of yourself. So you're pouring into yourself, you're taking care of yourself, but then that first point is you're also open to receiving. Okay, so going back to that original question, which is like, is it controlling if in a relationship you want to have that tracking feature on in your, with the other person's phone? Okay, so let's talk about this. It's unhealed wound. I just want to hear what you girls are saying first before I give my answer. Okay, so someone's saying it's an unhealed wound. Yes. So also, it's different if you're dating and you're married. Okay. So if we'll do both scenarios. So say you are dating. Okay. If you're dating, you really should not feel like you need to track anybody. Okay. If you feel like you have to go into a man's phone, okay, to check to see what he's watching, who he's liking, who he's talking to, you need to really ask yourself, babe, is this a person you want to spend the rest of your life with? Right? And so this has nothing to do with the man and has everything to do with you as a woman. Okay, you have to ask yourself, is this the type of life I want to live? So, and then I'll get to the dating scenario because I understand some people get into marriages and then stuff happens. So we'll go through that scenario as well. But for the dating ladies, you have not, you haven't signed a contract. There's no ring on your finger. You're dating a guy. Hopefully you're rotationally dating, like I teach my girls in the program. But if you're not, say you're just dating this one guy. If you feel like you have to go through his phone, you have to really ask yourself, is this the type of life I want to live? Is this the type of marriage I want? Because what happens in dating is going to carry into marriage, right? And will probably get worse. Okay. Now, and then you have to ask yourself, if these are the types of guys you're attracting, everyone always reflects you. So you got to ask yourself, why am I attracting these types of guys? Typically what's happening, babe, is you are rejecting you. You are not truly valuing you. So you attract men that mirror that back to you. Okay. So you got to decide ahead of time. You got to energetically decide ahead of time what you are available for and what you are not available for before you go on another date with this guy. Okay. So I'll give you an example for me before my husband came into the picture, and I was in the same place as you girls, where I'm, now in the dating world, on this online dating world, social media dating world, where you have women, naked women in front of men's faces, like literally 24/7, right? Or people in each other's DMs, all that stuff, right? Like that was a very new world for me as well, but that's the world we live in right now. But I energetically decided that I would never be with someone where if I felt like I had to go through their phone, that's not the person I want to marry. That's for me personally. Okay. Not to say that you don't need to do that, but for me, because that to me is bondage. If I have to babysit you, if I have to be in a relationship where a man is lusting after other women, then I don't want to be in that relationship. I definitely don't want to marry somebody. My energy is too expensive. And there's too many good men out there that don't do that. I think women are fed this belief that there's a lot of men. There are a lot of men that do that for sure, but not every man does that. I mean, the definition of healthy masculine energy is self-control, right? So if you're dating men that have no self-control, then likely what's happening is they're more in their wounded energy, they're more in their feminine energy, and you're more in your masculine energy. That's why you want to control things and chase them and get that validation from them. So pause. I would encourage you, babe, don't judge yourself, but don't how stressful that is to a woman's hormones, to her nervous system, to her energy, when she feels like she has to go and check a man's phone to see if he's liking photos or DMing girls, right? Like, really, babe, you are so precious. You are so precious. You are so valuable. You deserve to be treated like a princess, okay? But no man is going to treat you like a princess if you don't treat yourself like a princess, okay? And that's not even with men. That's like friendships too, right? So you got to look at all the relationships in your life. Are these the type of relationships that you have, where you're attracting people that break boundaries with you, right? That also is an inner child wound that I help my girls heal in the Feminine Energy Academy. The women have probably had the most breakthrough because of this one inner healing child audio that I get women to listen to, because that comes from a childhood wound where it became normal for you in your nervous system to abandon yourself. So other people, it's like that people pleasing, right? So you learned in your nervous system at a young age, I'm going to abandon what I want, what's important for me, so you feel better. Okay. And that got wired into you. This got wired into so many of us women. Okay. And that's how women grow up, and they abandon themselves to make other people feel good. That pattern continues. Okay, with men, with children, with work, with business, whatever, it continues. So once we heal that off of you, and you go back to honoring that little girl inside of you that deserves to be protected, that deserves to feel safe, that deserves to feel love in a healthy way. Once you heal that, other people around you will mirror that back to you. Okay. All right, so that is the dating scenario. Now let's talk about the marriage scenario. And so my question is, I joined yesterday, and why can't I see this on the app? Oh, this live stream? This live stream is on TikTok and YouTube. Maybe that's what you're talking about. We will private message me in the Feminine Energy Academy, babe, and then I can help you there. Okay? Oh, unless you're talking about, maybe you're in the free community. Are you in the free community? Are you on the free, Miss Wisconsin, are you on the free community, or are you in the Feminine Energy Academy? Because that will help. In the free community, I do have a live stream replays in there. But if you want this actual training that I'm talking about, where we heal this, where we do nervous system healing, nervous system reprogramming, I have 30-day, I have all these different programs in there. Just another example, I take you through 30-day of feminine energy embodiment. We heal your feminine energy. We heal your love blocks. I teach you the rotational dating, all that stuff. Yeah, that's all in the Feminine Energy Academy, all under the dating and marriage section. This live stream I'm doing right now is for the public. That's why you're not seeing it in the academy. Okay. So going back to married scenarios, but I'll talk to you after. Yeah, no worries, Miss Wisconsin. I got you, girl. After this, I'll jump into the private messages with you, and I'll see exactly what you're needing right now to make sure that you get what you're needing, because you just joined, and that's exciting, girl. No, babe, you did not miss anything. She thinks she's missing something. This is just like 1%. Me showing up here live streaming with you girls on YouTube, on TikTok, is like 1% of what the girls get in the Feminine Energy Academy. We actually do the inner healing work and everything in there. Okay, I want to go back to your question though about tracking devices when you are married. Okay, so I understand that in some marriages, people have gone through stuff, right? And they're still trying to make their marriage work. So if that's your scenario where you've gone through stuff, the trust has been broken with the man, and then you're still both, not you both are trying to make the marriage work, then I honor you and I bless you, and that's amazing, right? And so then you guys have to come together as a couple, and you have to ask yourself, okay, what do we need to do to rebuild trust? Okay. And so for a woman, for example, if the guy has been, off doing whatever, and that broke trust with you, then if you as a wife, that's different than you guys are dating, or he's your, your boyfriend. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about he is your husband, you are his wife. Okay. That's completely different. You guys are working through this, and you as a wife, you're like, I need this to rebuild trust in our marriage. Then no, there's nothing wrong with that, babe. Okay. There's no guilt or shame in that as well. But just check yourself emotionally. Am I falling into the energy where I feel like I need to control him? Okay. Or I have to look over his shoulder, because that's very different than, no, in order for us to rebuild trust in our marriage, this needs to happen. That's very different. Okay. But also, I'm going to encourage you, if you are working through stuff in your marriage right now where trust has been broken, for you as a woman, your superpower is still taking it into the energetic spiritual world, where you're scripting, where you're holding the energy of, you are so valuable, you are worthy to be loved, you're becoming the energetic match of the exact type of husband you want. And one of two things are going to happen. And I see it all of the time. I've seen marriages where people have been signing the divorce paper. They were separated for years, and they did some of this work that I teach them, and then now they're happily remarried. They didn't end up getting a divorce. And I've also seen women who tried to do what I'm teaching them, but their husband was cheating on them or abusive, and they finally had the strength to walk away. Okay, so I am not sure what your scenario is. I 100% encourage you and invite you to bring God into that situation, because I really do believe with God, all things are possible and can turn the worst situations around. But you as a woman, you still want to energetically always decide what you are worthy for, what you're worthy of. Okay. And you're never trying to convince a man, or trying to chase him, or, be micromanaging him, because you're going to hate your life and you're going to repel him for sure. Okay. Was that helpful? Okay, Christy. Oh, this is interesting. So Christy's like, I don't see why it's necessary that my son's girlfriend keeps asking him to share his location. This is so good. I'm so glad you said this, Christy. So what that's coming from is she's wounded 100%. Because if they're just dating and she needs to know his location, I would never, right? But so she's wounded, but also at the same time, maybe trust has been broken in the relationship already. We don't know the full scenario, but it's definitely coming from a wounded place if you're dating and you're feeling like you need to share each other's location. For sure. So this is what happens energetically. I love talking about the energy stuff, right? So you as a woman, when you need to track your husband's footsteps, you are in your mothering energy. You are in your mothering energy as a woman, okay? And what happens is it actually repels men. Man, I wish Coach B was dressed and ready to come online because I feel like I want him to come on here and talk about this. I'm going to get him to talk about this on Friday. Okay. So ladies, if you're watching right now, come on Friday because Coach B is going to do his man live stream, man's perspective on Friday, and he will talk about this. Okay. I'm here to, because this is a Wellness Wednesday, I'm here to help you guys heal, heal this, heal these wounds. Okay. Heal the nervous system, heal your feminine energy, heal your hormones as a woman. But he will let you know on Friday the man's perspective on this. And I'm telling you, no man wants to be tracked. Okay. No healthy man wants to be tracked. So he might put up with it. And I'm talking the dating scenario right now. I'm not talking about the marriage scenario where you guys both came to that agreement to build trust with both people. That's different. Okay. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you guys are dating. It's a boyfriend girlfriend scenario and you are tracking him. Okay. No man is going to be turned on by that. He might do it to make you happy in the moment, but he's not going to be attracted to that at all because you're in your mothering energy. Men are not attracted to their mothers. So anytime you're in your mothering energy as a woman in dating or marriage, you're repelling him. You're repelling his masculine energy. Okay. Agreed. Okay. Yeah. Are there any guys on here? They can attest to this, that no man wants to be tracked by a woman. Okay. I can't wait to hear Coach B's perspective. Oh, yes. Honey, they're waiting for you on Friday. You got to come back on Friday for this. Okay. But you know what, you guys, like, this is why I love my husband so much. And I'm not just saying this because I was so intentional about this before he came into the picture. Like, because I understand this is an issue for a lot of people, especially with social media right now. I really, really understand that this is a big issue for people. And so I really was super, super clear in my energy, like when I was scripting, that my husband has me on the pedestal, that my husband's energy is always coming towards me, that my husband, these are actual affirmations that I scripted on probably for a year before my husband came into the picture, is my husband protects our couple bubble. Like he wants to be the one that is protective of our couple bubble. And it's so crazy because that's exactly the way he is. Like I didn't have to do any convincing. It's amazing, right? Where he's the one that is super protective of our couple bubble, who's allowed in it, who we're talking to. He never, like the other day, we work out. A lot of times we work out together. The other day, I'm like, I need to take today off. And it was getting late because he had to finish some business stuff. And I think it was like 10 o'clock at night, or it was after 10 o'clock. I'm like, you still going to go to the gym? He's like, no, it's too late. I don't want to go out. And so I'm like, these little things, I'm like, I love this about him. I don't have to chase him. I don't have to put tracking devices on him. Like, and that's healthy masculine energy. These are all signs of healthy masculine energy. A healthy masculine energy man wants you to feel safe. He wants you to be, he wants peace in the home, right? He doesn't want to fight with you. He knows what a woman needs, right? He is consistent. He is reliable, right? So these are the type of things. So as a woman, when you're single or even if you're married, once you become an energetic match for it, that's what you're going to attract. That's the type of man you're going to attract. Okay. All right. Any other questions you guys have? Any other questions you guys have? Most men won't do that. They want to provoke you. Most men won't do that. They want to provoke you. Most men want to provoke you. Okay. So if you feel like most men want to provoke you, babe, I'm so glad you said that, actually. If you feel like men want to provoke you, you have to ask yourself why you are attracting men that want to provoke you. I have never been with a man that wants to provoke me, ever. Okay? So that is not the experience for everyone. Okay? There's a lot of men that don't. Honey, we got to take notes. I'm going to get my husband, he's going to be here on Friday. He's going to talk about that too. Unhealthy men want to provoke you, for sure. It's like a child, right? Like think of I have 4 kids, right? So they're fighting with each other. They love to provoke each other. They love to walk past each other and poke each other or take each other's stuff and hide each other's stuff or make the other person get in trouble. It's children do that. Grown men that are healthy masculine men do not have a desire to provoke you. Okay. And so what's happening is, if that's your experience where you are attracting men that want to provoke you, babe, it's coming from a wounded place in them, but their wound is mirroring your wounds. Okay. So that's why it's so, so important when you heal that in yourself, babe, you're going to attract healthy men. So you want to attract healthy masculine energy men. You need to be a healthy feminine woman. That's how this works. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Great question. So Mermaid asked, what question shall I ask him in order to see if he is a masculine, healthy energy man? Mermaid, that's a really good question. So she's asking what questions can she ask him to see if he's a healthy, masculine energy man? Well, babe, we're not going to actually ask him any questions. Sorry. We're not going to actually ask him any questions. What we're going to do to see if he's a healthy masculine man is we're going to watch and see if he follows through on the things that he says he's going to do. That's one sign. That's probably the biggest sign of healthy masculine energy is consistency. Okay, so let's look at this from a biology point of view. Okay, this is how God's made us. So you can't argue biology, right? So men's predominant hormone is testosterone. Women's predominant hormones are estrogen and progesterone, and we even have a little bit of testosterone. Women's hormones go up and down throughout the month and throughout our life, right? We need that because we're having babies, changes are happening in our body. Women's hormones go up and down a little bit more. Men, they have testosterone and it's very consistent. Okay. So the definition of healthy masculine energy man is consistency. Okay. Another way. So on a practical note, you don't need to ask him any questions. Just watch. So if he's saying, hey, I'm going to call you on Friday, does he call you on Friday? If he's saying, hey, I want to see you again, does he pick up the phone and plan a date for you? If he sees you struggling with your car, is he like, oh, I hope you get that fixed? Or is he jumping in and fixing it for you? Right? So healthy masculine energy is the provider protector. His energy is coming towards you. So once again, going back to biology, look at the sperm. Okay. The sperm competes, it's chasing, it's competing, it's doing whatever it needs to do to get to the prize, the egg. This is how God has wired men, masculine energy men. It is in their DNA. Okay. So if you see a man and he's telling you all the right things, he has a six-pack, he's tall, dark, and handsome, he's telling you he wants to marry you, he's never met anyone like you before, he can't wait to spend the rest of his life with you, but he doesn't call you consistently, he doesn't set up dates consistently, he doesn't do anything consistently, he doesn't follow through on the stuff that he's talking about, then babe, he's not a healthy masculine man. Okay? If you are going out on dates and he's making you pay, or he's asking you for money, or he's wanting to move in with you, he swears at you, he calls you names, he makes you, he talks down to you, he's looking at other women, he's lusting after other women, those are all signs that he is not a healthy masculine energy man. Okay, but instead of getting mad at him like a lot of women do and say there's no good men out there, you're going to actually take time. You're going to pause dating. Okay. I want you to pause dating and I want you to heal your feminine energy. Because once you heal your feminine energy and you're able to lean into your feminine energy, you naturally are going to attract healthy masculine men that love to show up for you, that love to provide for you, that want to get married with you. They want to have a family. They want to provide because that's how men, and that's how God has wired men. Okay. But what if you're already married to them the time you know it? But what if you're already married to them by the time you know? Okay, so going back to, okay, so you're married and now you're realizing he's not a healthy masculine energy man. Is that the scenario you're talking about? Because this happens all of the time, right? Especially you as a woman, you're doing some self-improvement, and then you're doing some self-improvement, and then you're like realizing, okay, this man is not healthy. So going back to the stuff I teach you girls in the Feminine Energy Academy is you're going and you're deciding, the type of man that you want as a husband. Okay. Even in a healthy marriage, right? There might be stuff happening. You're like, I don't really like this. But instead of coming at him, you can embody the energetic match of like, no, I have a husband like this. Right. And naturally what will happen, and then you lean back in your feminine energy and he's going to step up or he's going to fall away. Yeah. He had me fooled in dating. Yes. Men will do that. Right. So Sammy, have you gone through the healing toxic relationship section in the dating and divine dating and marriage? I have a 3-part series there. So for the ladies that aren't in the Feminine Energy Academy, I have a 3-part series where I help women heal infidelity and heal from toxic relationships. And that's if you're in a marriage. If you're in a marriage, if you just got out of a marriage, because there's a lot of women that come into my programs and they're like, oh my gosh, this is not a healthy situation. What do I do? So what I do is I help you get that energetic clarity first and then make decisions. Okay. Yes, 3 times. Okay, babe. So I feel like, Sammy, you know what to do. So then you just got to ask yourself what's stopping you. Anger is gone now. Okay, that's good. That's a plus. But detaching further is needing to keep my peace. Yeah, babe. And you know what, Sammy, ask God for wisdom, babe. Ask God for wisdom, okay? Because I feel like you know, but a lot of times it's hard when you're in it, and I get it. And I'm not telling you what to do at all. But it's always just going back to deciding what you are available for and what you are not available for, and then following through with it, okay? And really asking God for wisdom on this, okay, babe? I'm not saying that that's easy, but you at the end of the day have to decide what you're willing to be available for and what you're not willing to be available for. Okay, babe? And trust, like what I teach you girls, right? Everything is always working out in your favor. Everything is always working out in your favor, babe. Right? And another big thing is looking at the patterns. This was the biggest thing for me is it's one thing for us to make toxic decisions and get ourselves into toxic situations or, give ourselves away, but our children are watching, right? That was the biggest thing for me was my kids are watching. My kids are watching how I date. My kids are watching my marriage, right? And so I really wanted to break the really negative cycles that I had in my own life for my kids. So you got to ask yourself that. Like, if you're not willing to do it for you, think about the type of relationships you want your daughter to have, your kids to have, because they watch what you do, and what you don't heal, they will take on. Okay? What we don't heal as women, our kids will take on. That in itself is why I did all my inner work, all my inner healing, why I started the Feminine Energy Academy, because for me, it was 4 generations that I'm aware of complete toxic relationships. Okay? And I'm like, this stops with me. This stops with me. Okay. And I'm so grateful I did, because Brian and I were just talking about, Coach B and I were talking about this yesterday. I was like, I'm so happy my kids get to see a happy marriage. They saw their mom date in a healthy way, and they see their mom in a healthy marriage where they see, they call them Pops. They see Pops take such good care of me every single day. He won't even let me open a door, like he does everything. He sees that they see us having fun together. They never see us yelling ever. They never see us swearing at each other. They don't see any of that. They only see a healthy marriage. And that was so intentional on my part, because those things don't just happen. Okay. So if you're not going to do it for you, babe, do it for your kids or do it for your future kids, because your daughter is going to mirror what you are doing. Okay. Yes. And God will give you the strength. God will give you the wisdom, and God will give you the strength. Okay. So just to summarize today's live stream, what really, the traits that really turn a man on long term, not just dating, but in marriage. One is your feminine energy ability to receive. Right? So getting out of that over controlling, over talking, chasing energy as a woman, where you can lean back and allow a man to provide for you, allow a man to like have space in your presence. Allow a man to be interesting and talk more without you feeling like you need to validate yourself, right? Allow a man to open the door for you. Allow a man to open the jar for you. Allow yourself to be mentally present in the moment when you guys are together having fun. Those are the things that men crave, okay? And then the second thing is that you actually value yourself. You have this amazing feminine energy confidence where you are detached, where if a man is breaking boundaries, you're not triggered, you're not yelling at him, you're not chasing him, you're not trying to control him. No, you are leaning back, you have your boundaries, and they come towards you. And proof of this was one of the girls in the Feminine Energy Academy. She's from South Africa, by the way. She was a single mom. She hasn't dated in 3 years. She jumped into the program. She's been doing her inner work, inner healing. By the way, her business has improved, but she just started going on dates, and she's like, Natasha, I thought the men were going to fall away because I implemented the boundaries. She upped her boundaries and standards. And so similar things to what I do. And she's like, I thought they were going to fall away, but no, they are literally falling at my feet now. They're falling at her feet. Why? Because men value women that value themselves. Write that down. Somebody write that in the comments. Men value women that value themselves. If you don't value yourself, babe, you can argue and fight and chase him and track him and all that stuff. You can do all that. But how you know you really value yourself is you are embodied in this confidence that, babe, if it's not you, it's somebody better. Okay? I don't got to chase you. You don't even have to say it. It's in your energy, babe. No, I don't have to sleep with you before we get married. Right? That's a woman that values herself. I'm not, causing shame to anyone here, but these are just examples. Okay? A man calls you last second and is like, hey, let's go out tonight. You're busy. Okay? You're busy. Men value women that value themselves. Yes, babe. And I'm going to get Coach B to talk on Friday here for you girls. So make sure you jump back here on Friday. He will talk to you about it. But you can also jump in the Feminine Energy Academy right now. I have courses on this in the Feminine Energy membership: divine dating for marriage, marriage rehab, healing from toxic relationships and infidelity, and also really teaching you how to be in your feminine energy. How do you become magnetic? How do you feel confident again, especially if you've been wounded, babe? If your nervous system has been wounded from divorce, from you not being treated well, and you want to learn how to be in your soft feminine energy, even if you're a single mom, so you can get out of these patterns for good and attract a healthy provider, masculine energy man, then I have programs for you all in the Feminine Energy Academy. Okay? Oh my gosh. Listen, day one in, and I'm already starting to breathe better. Oh my gosh. I love that. I got to take a screenshot of that. That's amazing, girl. So Miss Wisconsin just said, she's like, I'm in day one and I can finally breathe again. That's the relief. The biggest feeling that you're going to get when you're in the Feminine Energy Academy is relief. Like you can catch your breath. Okay? Because I know what that feels like no matter what you're going through. If you've been through a loss, going through a divorce, or you're feeling really good and you just want to learn how to date again, but it feels overwhelming, right? Or you want to feel confident again because you want to start that business. You want to go on social media. You want to, just feel good in your marriage again. I teach you how to do all those things in the fun, feminine energy way. It's not about you working harder, babe. It's not about you chasing or convincing anybody. It's about you feeling so good in your body again. You feeling so good in your spirit again. You feeling so good in your energy again. And everyone around you will mirror that back to you. Okay? I just binged yesterday. Very interesting. That's amazing. I'm already quantum leaping. Yes, the girls in the community are quantum leaping. I mean, Sammy, she went from not showing her face on camera to being on a national program. Okay, that's a quantum leap right there. All right. I love it. I love it. Okay, girls, I think that's everything. Is there any more questions over here? From the inside, such a gift. We are worthy. Yes, girl. I love it. Okay, if you have any more questions, you can message me. But I love you girls so much. I really, really hope that was helpful for you. By the way, on Saturday, I know today's Wellness Wednesday. On Saturday, we are doing a fun workout together. So if you want to work out with me and my girls in the Feminine Energy Academy, make sure you sign up because we're going to do a live fun workout where it's part of the 90-day Hourglass Body program that I have in the Feminine Energy Academy as well. But we're going to go through stomach vacuuming, how to reshape your body. You can do it from home. It's for all levels, all ages. It's going to be so fun, and it's women only. So there won't be, even Coach B won't be there watching us. So, all right. So that's this Saturday. I hope to see you guys on Saturday, and I love it so, so much. Okay. We'll talk to you later.